Hey team, welcome back to my channel. So this vlog isn't what I hoped it would be. Unfortunately, I did DNF this race and the plan was to vlog the whole thing. It was Maverick's first ever 100k along the Jurassic coast here in Dorset, and it was supposed to be the glory lap and it didn't quite go to plan, so bear with me. I put a call out on Instagram and people still wanted this rather than binning the footage. So here's my experience of the race. It did not go well for me and it is an emotional roller coaster. So stay with me. I hope you enjoy. If you do, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the other side and we can unpack it a little bit. We are here at the event village. Just got my tracker, done my bag drop, final toilet trip, and then jump on the coach to the start. So hey guys, welcome back. We are at the start of Maverick's first ever 100k on the Jurassic coast here in Dorset. We're just at the start line, everyone is behind me. I'm using my phone torch to light me up so I don't blind you. But come and join us for 100k along the Jurassic coast in Dorset. We're just over 5k in. I feel really sick. I'm feeling sick in the car. I'm right here. I think this might be the race. It breaks me and I vomit. Let's see. I've asked Mark to bring me a change of kit to a station near home. I'm hoping that'll help. It's just like some pressure around my diaphragm and my midsection that's really not helping with the nausea. Right, in that last kilometre something's just shifted. I am feeling a bit better, but that was horrendous. I need to take my long sleeve off because I'm overheating, but the kit I'm wearing, I've had to fold my shorts down because I don't feel sick and I don't feel comfortable with my stomach out because I'm like super bloated and not feeling good, so it's a bit of a catch-22. It was really tight at the beginning, like lots of single file bottleneck stuff, but it's spread out a bit more now so that we can actually move at our own pace, which is quite nice. We're on like a really lovely stretch of downhill. This is like perfect, like favourite running. Also, as you can see, I sucked it up and took my long sleeve off and pulled my shorts back up. The waistband of my shorts went over down. Lovely uphill now. But yeah, I was just getting too hot and uncomfortable in that way, and it was a case of which level of uncomfortable, what kind of uncomfortable, like, do I want to be? If you watch the recce vlog, you'll be pleased to know that the nettles had either been trimmed back or I'm so far back that they've just been trampled down. So barely any stings, perfection. It's a shame it's so cloudy because this would have been a stunning sunrise. My friend Kat is running this and we ran some UTS together. She's like an absolute mountain goat on the uphill and I'm really strong on the downhill, so she'll end up overtaking me again on an up, but we just had a little laugh because she's been ahead of me the whole time. And then we've got this gorgeous descent right now that I've just like sped down, but she'll catch me on the hill later. The sun is out just as we start to approach the coast. Oh, This has been such a mixed bag already. I mean, just look at that. We are just coming up to the first aid station. I'm not really going to stop because I've not really fueled so far because I felt so shit. So I literally don't need to top anything up, so I'll be flying straight through. When I say flying, I mean just shuffling. Oh, home. This whole stretch here is my absolute favourite part of the coastline, but only going in this direction that we're going. So 25.5k in. It was double door should I say. Looking spectacular today. So close to the next aid station. Maybe a Coke. Yeah. Bonnie? Hello, hello. You happy, Bonnie? Oh, she thinks she's coming. But she's not.
Right, and then...
Yeah, I think so. Bonnie, you're not coming with me? Are you going to go up and cut round the back?
Yeah, I'm going to go up and then
Okay.
back down it.
Yeah, we're into the ranges. Oh my goodness. Bonnie! Yes. Another time. Right. Bonnie, bump. Right.
See you later. Love you.
Love you.
See you.
Bye, Bonnie.
See you sometime.
Yeah.
I'll another one and then...
Yeah, whenever. Bye, Bonnie. So at that aid station, I changed my clothes. Desperate need. Changed my shoes. A banana and Coke. Let's see how this next bit goes. So we just come down that gnarly hill there, and now we're going back up there. It's not my day today. I just handed in my tracker at 44k at Corfe Castle. I've had maybe 150 grams of carbs in 5.5 hours. I've covered 44k, which, you know, is still a long way, but I don't have another 60 in me. And you know when you feel really sick and it's just like under your ribs. Not my day. My tripod broke, so I have you on a like convertible monopod thing that does turn into a tripod, but it's like this small, and I can't get you anywhere where there's good light, so I'm just trying to put you inside my radiator. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's debrief. I think I need a coffee for this. But how cute is Bonnie? She's honestly such a den dog and she'll tuck herself into a blanket. Okay, so the race. I was feeling good until literally the morning of the race, and I'd had what I had for breakfast before, like nothing new.
I had my normal routine of wake up, have an Actimel or that kind of thing, like a Yakult or something bacteria-y. I had my greens powder, I had a coffee, and then I had that Chia Charge shake thing. I think the only thing I didn't have was a ginger shot, but that's not something I have every single day. But apart from that, everything was how I would normally do it before a race. The day before, I'd had that feta pasta and it was fantastic. I've also had it since, so I know that that's not made me sick, but on the morning of the race, I got everything together, and the race I had to be at the venue for 4:30 in the morning. So it meant leaving here at 4. I got up at 2 because, well, Mark was still in bed. I didn't want to send the dogs crazy, so therefore I didn't want to make too much noise, didn't want to be rushing around like a Tasmanian devil. I just wanted time to get myself ready for the race. And I always like to do this, have like 2 hours before I need to leave the door. If I'm going on a long run or something, also let my food digest and use facilities and stuff. So I'd gotten up at 2. I'd slept really poorly to the point that my Garmin flagged up and said no sleep detected. So I think that, you know, wasn't a great starting point. And then got myself ready and everything. I was feeling really chill, like my body was ready to do something big that day. And then we got in the car and we're driving to the venue, and I turned around to Mark and I was like, oh, I don't feel well. I feel quite sick. And like, I was like, am I suddenly getting like apprehensive about the race? Is it that? Is it the car? But I don't get car sickness unless I'm like constantly on my phone. So I'm just never constantly on my phone. I just felt really unwell in the car at about 4:15 in the morning, and I just didn't get any better. So started the race, and as you could see at like 2 kilometres in, I wanted to like call it a day then. I sent Mark a voice note saying how terrible I felt, asked him to bring different kit because I get some sensory issues around clothing and stuff anyway sometimes. Weirdly, the older I'm getting, the worse these issues are. But sometimes, you know, if a label's scratchy, I remember being at school and university and people would cut their labels out of clothes and I'd be like, why are you doing that? Like, why does it matter if you've got a label in your clothes? Like, what's anybody going to, like, nobody's going to be reading your labels. And then the older I get, the more I'm like, oh, I can't stand a label in my clothes. And it's actually not about the content on the label, but how the label feels on your body. Can't stand it. So I was then starting, I loved my outfit. I picked a really colourful outfit because I've been quite like dark in my outfits recently because my Run Club t-shirt is black and then I'd wear like my black shorts or skort. So I was like, I will go Sweaty Betty, all colour, and just be like this colourful ray of sunshine on the trails, and it'll be wonderful. And I'd worn all the kit before. So I think had I not have been feeling really unwell, the kit wouldn't have been a problem. So I'd got this seamless t-shirt thing on and it was cropped. But my sickness was like right up under my ribs, like under my diaphragm. You know when like you're really about to be sick? It was that feeling all day. And so where my top was then close to my body but still had movement in it, it felt like it was just tapping where I felt really unwell. So I was like, right, Mark's going to come and meet me at the 29 kilometre aid station. It's near home. He's going to bring me a whole new wardrobe and everything's going to be fine. So at that aid station I did do a full refresh and tried to trick myself into thinking, you know, this is the answer, this is what is going to make this race mine. And at this point you'd obviously seen I'd not fueled going into the first aid station. I'd had like a little bit going into that aid station, but it was still like a few sips from my bottles. It was not substantial for having already run 30k. So at that aid station I had a sip of Coke, a third of banana, refilled my bottles with water, but didn't add any more fuel to them because I was like, there's not much missing and maybe a bit of extra water will just help me take it down because they won't be so concentrated. I then carried on, and what was really hard was I was so close to home then, and I really, like, part of me wishes, oh, I should have just gone home. I was 1 kilometre from home. I should have just gone home with Mark and Bonnie, but I really still, at that point, I was like, no, things are going to turn around. So I carried on, and then I went through the ranges and had a gel going down like this gnarly downhill section, and that gel did not make me feel good because I had some Lebkuchen in my bag. Oh, I'm obsessed. I lived in Germany for 3 years as a child, and I don't remember it, but I remember Lebkuchen, and every Christmas, so obsessed. Anyway, I packed some of that in my bag, so I was like, oh, these are going to be perfect, like ultra fuel. But then because I felt so sick, I didn't want to eat that because I didn't want to ruin it, because oh, look at Bonnie. If I ended up being sick, I didn't want that to ruin Lebkuchen for me. So I went for a gel, because I'd barely fueled at this point, went for a gel that had 50 grams of carbs in it, because I was like, let's get like as much in as I can. And anyway, that gel I've also used before, so I genuinely don't know where it all went wrong, but that gel did not sit well, and I carried on, and I got to about 38 kilometres, and I was like, or about 37 kilometres, and running down this road bit by Whiteways car park, and I was like, I'm really not well. And so I got a bit choked up and tears in my eyes, and I was like, I can't do this. I've got to make it to 101 kilometres, and I can't take on any food or drink. And so I messaged my partner, and I was like, I feel so unwell. I said it in a less PC way, and he was like, what can I do to help? And I was like, I think you just need to come and get me. So I was having a crouch down, I can't remember where it is. Anyway, I was having a crouch down just off the side of the trail, looking at the information that we'd been sent pre-race about the aid station so that Mark could come and collect me. And I was having a little cry to myself. And then my friend Kat, who you saw in the vlog, she came by and she was like, Charlotte, are you okay? And she, honestly, all it took was for her to be like, are you okay? And I just bawled my eyes out. And I was like, I'm really not well. And so then I tagged on with her and her two friends. They were all so lovely, and ran it into Corfe Castle with them. Still not able to like take on any more fuel. I had a couple more sips of my drinks, but I still made it back to Corfe Castle at 44 kilometres, still with half left in both my bottles. So I'd done like 44 kilometres. I drank about 500 mils of fluid, had maybe max 150 grams of carbs across 5.5 hours at this point. It was 44 kilometres and about 1200 metres elevation. And I just really wasn't well. And then Mark picked me up, I got in the car, and I just bawled my eyes out. And he was like, you should still be so proud. Like, he's actually in Washington right now, about to run the Washington Marine Corps Marathon at the weekend. And he's run a marathon before, and he was like, you know, I'm really proud of you. Like, you should still be really proud. You've still ran more than I've ever run. Like, you ran 44 kilometres today. And, like, it's really, you do have to put it into perspective, but it's really hard when you set out that day to run 100. And I've ran 100 before. I did Ultra Trail Snowdonia, 100 kilometres, and only 60% of people finished that, and only 12% of people that finished it were women. So, like, I'm really proud of what I did on that day, and that was so much harder. But yes, I wasn't very well, and I still wasn't well all day. I came home, had a shower, got into Christmas pyjamas and went to bed, and then managed to eat some potatoes around 7 p.m. and that was it. So, like, Mark made like this bean thing for him, and like I had a couple of mouthfuls of that, and he was like, do you want some more? I was like, I don't think I should do that. And so then, yeah, and then went to bed again. Woke up the next day, I was able to eat, still felt a bit off, and then we went to do the food shop, and in the car I was like, oh, I do not feel good. And so it like really validated for me that it was the right decision to make for me on the day to not complete the race, because the way the route goes and how slippy and slidey it was, it would have been really unsafe for me to be on like a certain part of the coastline. We're in like slip and slide mud with like impaired cognitive function 10 plus hours into a race if I've not been able to fuel. And then what kind of example is that setting to my clients as well? Because I'm not a finish at all costs person or encourager, because essentially our body, our health, our minds come first. And for me, it was more important that I'm able to come out of this and still go and do other races and exist, even because it could have gotten that unsafe. But it was more important for me to be able to then continue this for a long time and do all the other things than fight at all costs to finish this race that wasn't an A race for me. That was Ultra Trail Snowdonia. So for me, it was the right decision on the day. And what hasn't been helpful is a couple of messages come through going, oh, well, I felt really sick and I finished it. I'm like, well, cool, good for you. Like, I've done 100k a couple of times before and I know I'll be able to do it again. But for me, this was the right decision and that's okay. I've had so many amazing supportive messages to say that it was the right decision. And my clients even schooling me on what I would tell them if they had been in the same situation. So I've been teaching them very well, if I must say so myself. So yes. The race is done. Monday, I felt much better. I was in a really low mood on Monday, but stomach-wise was starting to feel better. It was my second ever DNF and my first one was 3 years ago. And both DNFs have come during highly stressful times in my life. Then the next big race is the Arc of Attrition in January. I'm not doing the big one, I'm doing the middle one. So 50 miles around the coast in Cornwall, or not around the coast actually, it's a point to point. So along the coast in Cornwall. Yes, and there's now a 25-mile race in there as well, which never used to exist, and Mark is going to come and do that. So that's really cool that we're going to go and do that together. But excitingly, a new pair of shoes has arrived in the post. And I have them on because that's the rule, right? A new pair of shoes arrives in the post and you then just have to wear them around the house. So these, I am hypermobile, if like you hadn't guessed, like the way that my foot inverted then, or my ankle. These are the Normal Tomir 2.0. They look fantastic, nice and grippy, lots of cushioning, long laces, so that if I want to heel lock lace, I've got enough lace left over, because I have a pair of Ultras which I love, the Wild Experience or Experience Wild, but the laces, if I need to heel lock lace, they're so stubby and like it's really hard to like double knot. But these look great, so I'm looking forward to putting these to the test. These were gifted, so, you know, declaration, I had no obligation to post about them, but they're on my feet right now and we're talking about my race, so hopefully I'll wear these for that. Anyway, we might as well leave it here. I have gone off on the biggest tangent, but I'm feeling better about the DNF. Big focus now is lowering stress levels whilst training for the Arc of Attrition. It's 50 miles, so the training, less impact on life than 100k. So getting up to like 6-7 hours a week of training versus like 8, 9, 10. So a little bit less impact on life and just trying to breathe through it all and enjoy Christmas in the middle somewhere too. But anyway, the Jurassic Coast event itself, as an event, highly recommend. I've done the 50 something distance a couple of times now, and honestly it is genuinely like up there in my favourites. So I would highly recommend to anyone doing it. I obviously DNF'd because of my own sickness, so it was no reflection on the event at all. The actual event is genuinely fantastic and it's on trails that I'm very fortunate to call home. So I highly recommend. And if you did like this, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. As you know, I was made redundant earlier this year. I am back coaching and everything, so I will talk more about that because I have got an exciting project for the next year dropping soon. Circle back to that in another video. Hopefully be on here more going forwards, and let's let's get ready for the Arc of Patricia, shall we? Drop into the comments and let me know if you're coming to one of the Arc of Patricia races as well. See you next time.
She's literally perfect. She knows it as well.